From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, May 2nd. Going to have some sunshine across the state today. A few more clouds come in closer to sunset from the west. Might have some rain in the overnight hours. We're going to get a high today of 70 degrees, and it's going to be much less windy. So today, it's going to be a really nice day. A man is dead after a fire at an apartment complex in downtown Greenfield. The Greenfield Fire Department says it happened on Main Street near State Street. Crews pulled the man from the apartment, performed CPR, but he didn't make it. We still don't know the man's name or how this all happened, but as soon as we get that information, we'll update you on wishtv.com. A crash sent a driver into a popular downtown breakfast spot early this morning. IMPD confirmed to our mobile news tracker, Kevin Rotterman, that two drivers crashed at New York and Illinois overnight. It damaged the outside of La Peep. It sits right there at the corner. IMPD says one driver went to the hospital. Neither suffered very serious injuries. And there's no word yet on if La Peep or when La Peep will plan to open today. We have been calling all morning long, and so far, nobody's answering. A Kokomo teenager is in custody this morning, accused of murdering his 17-year-old brother. The Marion County coroner identified the victim as 17-year-old Jalen Reed. Before he died, police say Reed managed to tell officers his 14-year-old brother shot him and ran off. It happened just after 3:30 Saturday afternoon on Rainbow Circle. Police say they found Reed shot twice. The victim was taken to Howard Community Hospital, then was flown to Ascension St. Vincent, where he died. Officers say they found and arrested the 14-year-old less than a mile away. He's been booked into the Kinsey Youth Center on a felony charge of murder. The case remains under investigation. If you have any information, you're asked to call Detective Austin Bailey at 765 Austin Bailey at 765-456-7280. You can also call the Kokomo Police Department at 765-456-7017. According to Indiana law, a 14-year-old child can be tried as an adult for murder. The Indianapolis 10-Point Coalition says it will put more people on the streets. The group's president, Reverend Dr. Charles Harrison, says he's been getting calls for the added help since a recent spike in deadly violence. Harrison says 6 former patrol members will hit hotspot patrol areas this week. Despite the recent crime, homicide numbers in the city are down from last year. IMPD says there have been 68 homicides this year, down from 79. And today, the Indianapolis City-County Council will vote on a proposed redistricting map for council seats. The new map would create a single district representing both Fountain Square and Irvington. Right now, the two are divided between multiple districts. The change would create 25 districts in Indianapolis. If the map passes, it will go into effect next year. In Your Vote 2022, Indiana's primary election is tomorrow. Our All Indiana Politics analysts are talking about one closely watched race, Indiana's first congressional district in northwestern Indiana. Republicans are looking to flip the seat. They already control 7 of 9 seats in the state. Yesterday, our Phil Sanchez spoke about the race with Republican Ali Bartlett and Kip Tu, former Indiana Democratic Party chair.
I think it's a really exciting time for Republicans, particularly in the first congressional district. I mean, I think the fact that we're even talking about this, the possibility of a Republican really having a fighting chance in the first congressional district in Indiana is a big deal.
The fact of the matter is the district was redrawn by Republicans for Republicans, and they've made it more competitive. It doesn't have anything to do with what the district looked like in the past. It's a new district, and it's been gerrymandered to give the Republicans an opportunity to take it.
The winner of tomorrow's primary is likely to face incumbent Democrat Frank Mervan, who is polling well ahead of his primary. The Department of Public Works says Work Now will be opening Fort Wayne Avenue up to two-way traffic by late August. Fort Wayne between Delaware and Alabama shuts down today. Alabama, North, and Delaware streets will be the detours. DPW says if you live on Fort Wayne Avenue, you will be able to access your homes. And when the project's finished, Fort Wayne will be a two-way street with new traffic signals and sidewalk repairs. And INDOT is moving forward with plans to better connect central and southern Indiana. It's part of a partnership with Regional Development Authority Mid-States Corridor. The groups would build a new parallel road to Highway 231. The highway starts on the north side of the Ohio River in Rockport, winds through Huntingburg, Jasper, and Lagodi to eventually meet I-69 near the Crane Naval Base south of Bloomington. 2 town halls were held last week. Many people living along the corridor say it won't save much time, and they call it a misuse of taxpayer funds.
Destroying people's homes, people's farmland, businesses and institutions to put a $1 billion 54-mile new terrain highway in.
You have until the end of the month to comment on the proposal. You can submit them by emailing info@midstatescorridor.com or just go to the project office in Jasper. In Fort Wayne, investigators are trying to figure out how a man's body ended up in the St. Mary's River. The fire department crews found the body yesterday morning near Promenade Park after somebody reported finding it. The Department of Natural Resources will lead the investigation. Investigators have not released the man's name or how he died. To the war in Ukraine, people sheltering in Mariupol may have a chance to escape the port city again today. Evacuation started over the weekend at the steel plant that is both the last stronghold and, for some, the last refuge in the city. President Volodymyr Zelensky says it's the first time since the war started that a humanitarian corridor is working. There was a video released yesterday that shows people climbing over debris and rubble. The pause was brief. Ukrainian forces say once about 100 people got out, Russia started shelling the plant again. Officials say around 100,000 people are likely still in the city. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi led a congressional delegation on a visit to Kyiv. There, they met with President Zelensky. Pelosi told reporters why the lawmakers went. She said that the U.S. does stand with Ukraine. 6 other House Democrats went with Pelosi, including Adam Schiff, the chair of the House Intelligence Committee. He says they talked with Zelensky about what his country needs most.
We wanted to discuss with him within that really vast sum, what is the priority in terms of what weapons that he needs, what other assistance that he needs.
President Biden has sent Congress a $33 billion relief package. The House is in recess and will not consider it for at least a week. Leaders from both chambers have said they want the money approved by Memorial Day. People in Andover, Kansas are cleaning up this morning after a powerful tornado touchdown. Officials confirm the tornado generated 165-mile-per-hour winds and carved a path of destruction through the area. A touchdown Friday night was on the ground for 21 minutes. Officials say several people were injured, but nobody died.
I continue to be happy to report that we have no rescues outstanding. So we have no one that we know of that is trapped in a building right now that's waiting for us to rescue them.
Russell says it will take years for Andover to recover from the storm. Officials do say more than 1,000 buildings were damaged. And a former leader of the country's pandemic fight says the South should start preparing now for another wave. Dr. Deborah Birx is the former White House task force coordinator. She says patterns in the U.S. and data from South Africa are fueling the prediction. Northern states will see winter waves, and southern states will get summer surges.
Each of these surges are about 4 to 6 months apart. That tells me that natural immunity wanes enough in the general population after 4 to 6 months that a significant surge is going to occur again. And this is what we have to be prepared for in this country.
Bill Murray says he hopes a movie shoot that stalled over his behavior will restart. Production on Being Mortal halted last month after a complaint. Murray talked about it in an interview with CNBC over the weekend. He says he thought he did something funny, but it was not taken that way. He says he and the woman who complained are talking it through. He also said, things change and the times change, so it's important for me to figure it out.
Oh, Grandma, tell me about the good old days.
A night originally planned to induct Naomi and Wynonna Judd into the Country Music Hall of Fame turned into a memorial. Wynonna and her sister Ashley Judd accepted the award after Naomi's unexpected death Saturday. The Hall of Fame credited the Judds with helping take country back to its roots in the 80s. Judd's family says Naomi died due to mental illness. She was 76 years old. Ray Charles was also inducted to the Hall of Fame at the ceremony. About 23 million American households adopted a pet during the COVID lockdowns. That's according to ASPCA. That boom is creating a demand for pet-friendly offices. A recent survey by Banfield Pet Hospital showed that 57% of workers polled want to return to pet-friendly workplaces. And half of 500 top executives surveyed agree, saying that they're planning to allow pets at the office. Google, Amazon, and Uber plan to continue to allow dogs, even with new hybrid work plans. Airbnb is returning to a pre-pandemic policy. Starting May 31st, the company will no longer offer refunds for COVID-related circumstances. Airbnb says it made the decision after speaking with medical experts. Each host will once again be responsible for creating their own cancellation policies. Airbnb promises it will offer guests travel insurances in the near future. In Colts Watch, 8 draft picks and several undrafted free agents are joining the team. They'll all battle for roster spots for the regular season kickoff in September. Receiver Alec Pierce is the team's top pick, 53rd overall. Another key selection, Virginia tight end Jelani Woods in the 3rd round. Colts analyst Zach Kiefer says Woods is the one to watch.
These tight ends remind me a lot of Morelli Cox, and he's going to be the tight end 1 right now, but you're watching right now Jelani Woods and what he can do. He's a former quarterback. He's a 6'7" guy who was so good on the scout team at Oklahoma State, they said, we got to move you to tight end right away.
The selections add to an offseason overhaul that added a new quarterback, beefed up the defensive backfield, and shook up the coaching staff. The owner sounds optimistic.
When you look at our football team and you know, you look at things that it did in 2021, you really realize it was special. It was a dangerous team.
A new round of off-season training starts May 24th. And the month of May is finally here. One last stop before the greatest spectacle in racing has IndyCar drivers looking for the momentum ahead of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Faced off in Birmingham for the Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama yesterday. The first road course of the season ended with Pato O'Ward taking home the checkered flag. He flew past pole sitter Rinus VeeKay on lap 62. It's O'Ward's first victory since Belle Isle last June.
Yeah, Taylor told me that we're fighting for the win. When we almost got him in the pit stop, so I said, no, this is a chance, man. It was so tough to follow just because it's such a fast and flowing circuit. So I knew if I would have the opportunity, it would have been right then and there.
Alex Palou and Rinus VeeKay rounded out the top 3. Defending Indianapolis 500 champ Elio Castroneves came in at 21st. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.